This content is for informational purposes only and does not replace professional medical advice. Always consult a qualified healthcare provider for personal health concerns. Have you ever wondered why two people can eat the exact same meal, maintain similar activity levels, and yet experience entirely different shifts in their energy, weight, and internal temperature? It often feels like a mystery, but the answer frequently hides in a small, butterfly-shaped gland nestled at the base of your throat. Think of your thyroid as the master metabolic switch of your entire physiology. It dictates the speed at which your cells consume fuel, essentially setting the thermostat for your existence. When this switch functions optimally, your body hums with efficiency, keeping your heart rate steady, your digestion predictable, and your mind clear. However, when that internal dial is slightly off, the consequences ripple through every system you possess. Research suggests that even minor fluctuations in thyroid hormone output can significantly alter how your body synthesizes proteins and utilizes oxygen. It is not merely about calories in and calories out. It is about the intricate hormonal signaling that determines whether your body stores energy for a rainy day or burns it to keep your vital processes running smoothly. Many people go years feeling perpetually exhausted or struggling with unexplained changes in their health, never realizing that the root cause might be a subtle imbalance in this endocrine commander. Understanding how this gland communicates with your cells provides a profound look into the machinery of human longevity and vitality. By peeling back the layers of how these hormones travel through your bloodstream to reach their targets, we can begin to demystify the complex relationship between your thyroid and your overall well-being. Throughout this video, we will look at the evidence behind how these chemical messengers dictate your daily performance, and why maintaining this delicate equilibrium is so vital for long-term health. Now that we have established the thyroid as your primary metabolic regulator, let us move forward to examine exactly how these hormones are synthesized and released into your system. To understand the engine driving your vitality, we must first look at the two primary architects of your internal energy landscape: thyroxine, known as T4, and triiodothyronine, referred to as T3. While your thyroid gland predominantly churns out T4, think of this as a circulating reservoir, a stable, and active precursor waiting for the right moment. The real transformation happens in your tissues, where enzymes strip away a single iodine atom to convert T4 into the highly potent T3. This active hormone is the master key that unlocks your body's metabolic potential. Research suggests that this process is fundamentally linked to how your cells breathe and function. Central to this interaction are your mitochondria, the tiny, bean-shaped power plants found within nearly every cell in your body. When T3 binds to receptors on these organelles, it stimulates them to ramp up the production of adenosine triphosphate, or ADP. This molecule is the literal currency of energy your body spends to keep your heart beating, your brain firing, and your muscles moving. Studies indicate that when your thyroid is operating within its optimal range, these mitochondria become more efficient, effectively burning fuel to generate the heat and energy required for your basal metabolic rate. If T3 levels are too low, this metabolic fire dims, leading to a sluggish pace that can leave you feeling fatigued and cold. Conversely, an overabundance of these hormones pushes the system into overdrive, causing your internal furnace to burn through resources at an unsustainable speed. This delicate dance is not merely about weight management, it is about the very rhythm of your cellular life. By modulating how quickly your cells utilize oxygen and nutrients, the thyroid ensures that your energy supply matches the immediate demands of your environment. This constant calibration is what allows you to maintain a steady temperature and a consistent level of alertness throughout the day. Having grasped how these messengers influence the microscopic activity within your cells, we are now prepared to investigate the specific triggers that can disrupt this balance, and why your body's internal sensors are so sensitive to change. Given how intricately tuned your thyroid is to your body's needs, it is perhaps unsurprising that this delicate equilibrium is susceptible to interference. When the signaling pathways that govern your metabolic pace are interrupted, the consequences can feel erratic and overwhelming. The most frequent culprits behind these disruptions often stem from the immune system itself. Conversely, Graves' disease prompts the immune system to overstimulate the thyroid, pushing your internal engine into a state of chronic acceleration. These autoimmune responses demonstrate how vital, yet vulnerable, the interplay between your health and your internal sensors truly is. Beyond immune-mediated challenges, the raw materials required for hormone synthesis are equally significant. Iodine, for instance, serves as the fundamental building block for both T4 and T3 hormones. Without adequate supply, your thyroid struggles to meet the body's metabolic demands, leading to a sluggish feedback loop that can leave you feeling depleted. Research suggests that even mild variations in nutrient intake can influence how efficiently your thyroid operates, illustrating that your metabolic health is deeply tethered to your environment and lifestyle. We must also consider the blueprint written into your DNA. Genetic predispositions can influence how your thyroid receptors respond to hormone signals or how your body processes these chemical messengers. It is not necessarily about a single event causing a malfunction, but rather a convergence of your unique genetic makeup, your nutritional status, and the health of your immune system. Understanding these triggers is essential because it moves us past the frustration of unexplained symptoms and toward a more nuanced view of your physiology. By recognizing these common points of failure, we can start to see why symptoms of thyroid imbalance are so varied from person to person. Now that we have identified the primary factors that can derail your thyroid, we need to examine the physical signals your body sends when that calibration begins to drift. When your thyroid balance shifts, your body essentially changes its internal thermostat, and the resulting signals can feel like two entirely different states of existence. Imagine your metabolic engine suddenly hitting the red line. This is the hallmark of hyperthyroidism, where the gland overproduces hormones, forcing your cells to work at an unsustainable pace. Because your body is burning fuel at such an aggressive rate, you may experience unexplained weight loss despite a hearty appetite. Many people in this state describe a persistent feeling of being overheated, as if their internal furnace is stuck on high, making even a cool room feel stifling. Your skin might feel perpetually warm or damp, and your nervous system may stay in a state of high alert, manifesting as tremors or a sense of inner restlessness that keeps you from finding calm. Conversely, when that same engine decelerates, a state known as hypothyroidism, the silence in your system becomes equally disruptive. Instead of the racing heart associated with hyperthyroidism, you might find your pulse feeling sluggish or abnormally low. Weight management becomes a frustrating hurdle, as your body struggles to process energy efficiently, often leading to weight gain despite minimal dietary changes. You will likely feel a profound sensitivity to cold, where your hands and feet stay icy even in well-heated environments. This manifests alongside a pervasive sense of fatigue that sleep simply cannot resolve. It is important to understand that these fluctuations are not merely passing moods or signs of aging. They are physiological warnings that your metabolic rhythm has drifted from its intended frequency. Research suggests that these symptoms often emerge gradually, making them easy to dismiss until they begin to interfere with your quality of life. Medical professionals often emphasize that paying attention to these shifts in your baseline, whether it is a sudden change in how you handle temperature or an unexpected shift in your energy levels, is the most vital step in advocating for your own well-being. Now that we have mapped out how these metabolic shifts manifest in your day-to-day physical experience, we must turn our attention to the diagnostic tools that allow us to confirm these suspicions and move toward a targeted strategy for recovery. Once those diagnostic markers are in hand, the path towards stabilizing your metabolic rhythm becomes much clearer. When the thyroid gland falls out of sync, whether it is producing too little or too much hormone, the primary objective is to restore systemic equilibrium. This approach involves introducing a synthetic version of the hormone your body is struggling to manufacture, effectively bridging the gap between your current physiological state and your baseline. The goal here is not merely to alleviate symptoms, but to recalibrate your internal thermostat so that your cells can resume their normal energy-producing functions. Antithyroid medications are frequently utilized to inhibit the gland from synthesizing an excess of hormones. By tempering this hypermetabolic state, these treatments help to shield the heart, bones, and nervous system from the strain of being constantly pushed into overdrive. It is a delicate balancing act, often requiring regular blood work to ensure that the dosage is perfectly aligned with your body's evolving needs. Research consistently indicates that biological health is deeply intertwined with environmental and behavioral factors. When we talk about lifestyle support, we are looking at how consistent, nutrient-dense habits act as a foundation for hormonal health. Integrating a balanced diet that prioritizes these building blocks can provide the biochemical support your body requires to process synthetic or regulated hormones more efficiently. Furthermore, we cannot overlook the profound impact of the nervous system on your metabolic rate. Chronic stress triggers a cascade of cortisol, which studies suggest can interfere with the conversion of thyroid hormones and dampen metabolic efficiency. By lowering the systemic stress load, you create a more hospitable internal environment for your thyroid to function. These strategies work best when viewed as a collaborative process between you and your healthcare provider, where every adjustment is informed by both your clinical data and your subjective experience of vitality. Having established how we manage these fluctuations, we can now step back to consider how these interventions translate into the longevity and sustained wellness you deserve. Looking toward the horizon of metabolic health, we are entering a transformative era in endocrinology. The way we perceive thyroid function is shifting from a rigid, one-size-fits-all model toward a sophisticated landscape of precision medicine. Emerging research is currently focused on the intricate interplay between genetic predispositions, the gut microbiome, and the subtle variations in cellular hormone conversion that define your unique metabolic signature. Scientists are now uncovering how specific molecular pathways, beyond just the standard TSH and free hormone markers, influence how your tissues utilize energy at a microscopic level. We are seeing the early stages of novel hormone therapies that aim to mimic the body's natural pulsatile release of thyroid hormones more accurately than traditional synthetic options. These advancements suggest a future where treatment is calibrated not just to bring blood levels into a reference range, but to optimize your internal environment for sustained vitality and long-term cellular protection. By integrating genomic insights with real-time metabolic monitoring, clinicians are gaining the ability to predict how your system might respond to specific environmental stressors or dietary changes, allowing for proactive rather than reactive care. To recap the core pillars of our discussion, thyroid hormones act as the master conductors of your cellular engine, dictating the speed and efficiency of energy production across every organ system. Achieving balance requires a nuanced understanding of how these hormones interact with your nervous system, your inflammatory markers, and your daily lifestyle habits. Maintaining this equilibrium isn't about chasing a perfect number on a lab report. It is about cultivating an internal state where your body feels capable, resilient, and energized. The stability of your metabolism is the foundation upon which your overall longevity is built, and by fostering this harmony, you are investing in the quality of your future years. This content is for informational purposes only. Please consult a doctor for health concerns. If you found this information helpful, consider subscribing to stay updated on future discussions regarding the science of human biology and how we can better support our physiological well-being. Thank you for joining me in this deep dive into the fascinating mechanics of the thyroid. Your dedication to understanding your body is the first step toward true metabolic health.